What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to this video on Elvis is the Man. So this is the gem of the week. I try to do one video a week where I just highlight maybe a certain performance from the studio or the concert, something live, maybe even just a certain section of a song. Well, this is that video.
What's interesting about music and about all the people here, they find new sounds. The guy on the guitar will find a new lick, or the guy on the piano will find something, and I hear all this and it inspires me. Yeah.
The song I want to showcase is Loving Arms. Elvis recorded this one in December 1973. He's about to be 39. He actually went into the studio earlier in the year, but he wasn't in the right frame of mind. If you watch some of the other videos I made, like where he was landing in St. Louis in '73 in June, he had some issues in that month big time.
Elvis, a lot of these people waiting out here to see you today. A lot of the secretaries that work at the air. Fantastic. Great.
The recording sessions were kind of messed up, so he was going back to the studio at Stax to make up for this. There's so many highlights from those sessions, and this is one of them. So this particular version is not the master take, which is great. I sort of like the outtakes a little better. That's why I like FTD so much, because it's like it gives you just a different perspective, you know. Like when you listen to the master takes all the time, it gets to be just repetitive, you know. And so when you hear outtakes, you find some really interesting gems. So I'm going to talk about this song. I'm going to talk a little bit about that time period, what was going on, a little bit of history about the song. So I hope you guys enjoy it and listen to this.
So in July of 1973, RCA booked Elvis for 4 nights at Stax Studio in Memphis. They even brought in some of the session players that were with Elvis on the 1969 sessions at American Sound Studio to hopefully reclaim some of the magic that they had 4 years earlier. Aloha from Hawaii was #1 on the charts in May, and RCA was really hoping they could capitalize on Elvis's newfound resurgence at the top of the charts. The session didn't go too well, though. They actually had some problems with the session players because they found it so hard to focus because they were in Elvis's presence. They were literally awestruck. Elvis was irritated by this a few times and cut the session short. Also, he had overdosed the month before, and his mind was not in the right place. They were only able to cut about 9 songs, not enough for what RCA wanted. So Elvis ended up going back in December of the same year in a different mind state, and in my opinion, cutting some stronger tracks than even the ones in Memphis 4 years earlier.
If you could see me now, the one who said that he'd rather roam, the one who said he'd rather be alone.
Elvis's voice was so developed by this point in 1973. Like I've said before in other videos, it seemed like in 1971 his voice started to get a little shaky. Like it was a bit hard for him to control his vibrato a bit, unless he was belting out some type of ballad. But here in December, all that seemed to go away. I'm so impressed by these sessions at Stax in 1973. By this time, he was the ultimate mixture of who he really was. A mix of country, a mix of rock, a mix of funk at this point too. Elvis recorded tracks like I Got a Feeling in My Body, If You Talk in Your Sleep. He was getting good material at these sessions, and he was totally recharged. There's so many songs that I could highlight from these sessions, but Loving Arms is such a soulful country track. So many highlights from it.
You could hear me now, singing somewhere through the lonely night, dreaming of the arms that held me tight. If I could hold you now, just for a moment if I could really make you mine. Just for a while, turn back the hands of time.
And guys, I would hate to close out this video without showing a few more highlights from these wonderful sessions.
I got a feeling in my body. Let's sing, talk together. Sit down by the river, Jordan. Sing our carols away. Well, you talk about the good time. You talk about the maybe she'll put you in a bind. She'll give you just a little love, and it'll get you every time. But I've got a thing